My secret is out. Hello my Flosstube friends, my name is Rocío, my channel is Cocohamas Stitchery, and this is a channel about cross stitch. And I don't normally say that, but I'm saying it this time because, like I said 2 seconds ago, my secret is out. I have been filming Flosstubes for a lot over a year now. And I had some really good friends come into town and we were at dinner, and I don't know how it even came out. It just did. It wasn't by me. I was like dying, like wanting to die, as my husband has been sworn to secrecy. And it just, you know, one thing led to another, and yeah, they know that I do YouTube about cross stitch. So if you're one of those friends watching right now, you're probably going to be very bored because this is not going to be interesting to you. But if you're very stubborn and you're sitting through it, then that's on you. I can't help you there. Anyway, so I'm just going to jump into it because I have quite a bit to talk about, quite a bit to catch up on. I do have a new camera stand and a new mic, so angles may be a little weird, sound may be a little off, but growing pains of a new setting, we are going to work through it. And I can already hear Gaspacho coming. Yes, I started without you. Come on. He was late. I told him he should be here by now, but he's late, so I started without him. I'm sorry. Let's see. So I have a fully finished object, or a framed object that's old but haven't shown on here. I have 2 finishes that are from the last time that I filmed, and I have 2 old finishes that have been requested by a couple of people, literally a couple. One requested one and one requested the other to show again because they saw it in my room tour. And they, you know, I have to remember that a lot of people may not have followed me from the beginning, and I hope to God that you don't start from the beginning because that's a lot of growing pains. But so what I can do, and what I've been seeing other people doing coincidentally, is showing old finishes. And you know, like, as a floss tuber on the filming side, sometimes you feel like, why am I going to show it again? Like, they already saw it. How annoying to keep seeing the same projects over and over again. But me as a viewer watching other channels, I love watching old finishes and seeing them in new light, like in a new episode or a new video over and over and over again, because I don't know, I love seeing finished works. I'm sure you do too. So without further ado, I will be showing off my stuff. With me since the journey of Macaw. I'm going to be looking at the viewfinder on my camera and be very distracting to you all because I can't stop looking at it on film. I'm freaking out. So I'm hoping you're freaking out. This is Macaw. I don't remember the designer, but I'm sure that I have just placed it below. I believe it was StitchingAddiction on Etsy. This is before my Flosstube days. This is before even my Instagram days. I think Macaw is like one of the first posts I may have done on my Cocohamas Stitchery Instagram. And we're coming up on like the anniversary of Macaw. So this is also the last thing that I got fully framed at Stitches from the Heart before they shut down. And I left it at my in-laws' house and I totally forgot about it. I know, I'm a terrible person. And then this last time that I went up, it was the first thing that I went to go grab. I was like, I need to go and get my Macaw, like yesterday. I don't know where I'm going to put him in my house. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's completely full coverage. He's stitched in DMC and he is on 18 count oatmeal Aida, 2/1 to get that really thick coverage. So this is a very thick project. Here, I'll get close. You can see all the stitches. Look at all the stitches. And the further you go away, you're like, what? That's real, it's a photograph. No, it's not, it's cross stitch. Let's see, what can I say about Macaw? Macaw was a love-hate project. I love to hate on it. I worked on it last year I started it, I think, no, not last year, 2019. I started it 2019 in February and then worked on it quite a bit, got several page finishes, and then I put it down and started working on Mermaid of Atlantis, which I always talk about. And from there, I think maybe I picked it up a couple times. When I really went to town on it was in 2020, February, I think I may have pulled it out, and then my first Stitch Mania, but for me, I had heard Lindy Stitches coin the term, and it may not be hers, but Stitch Sania. So what you did was you picked one project or a goal to work on during the week, and then that gave you a new start for the weekend if you met the goal. And that's where I really cranked out Macaw. I mean, we were also in lockdown. I was in Nassau, so there was lockdown. There was nothing I could do. Yeah, this was a lot of hours. And it was a present to my husband, who is from Venezuela, and they have what is called guacamayas, macaws, at his house, like when he was growing up. So this is, he always wanted a macaw stitched up. Now, the other thing I did, and I'm explaining because it's been a while, one, and two, I don't know how many people remember. So I actually cropped him. He had one more row of pages to give more of his body, but I liked the portrait. Well, let's be honest. One, I was over him. Two, I liked where he was at with his portrait shot, and I thought that if I added more of his body, it was going to take away from the realness in his face, and you would just see more body. So the focal point of his face was not going to be as strong. Yep. I could literally just sit here and be like, meh, meh, all day. One last time before it goes away. Goodbye, Macaw. Goodbye. The other thing on Macaw is he does have museum glass. And he, like I said, he was professionally framed at my local needlework shop before they closed down in San Antonio. And I picked that white frame because I like white. I like white, and I thought it was going to be a good little pop for the Macaw colors. Okay, since we're already like in old finishes, I'm gonna do the old finishes here first. Julie, stitching at the cabin, was the one who asked me to pull this out. I had a brain fart during this moment. Had asked me to pull this guy out so that she could see him again. This is Plague Doctor. I also don't remember the designer, but I'll put it below. This was stitched on 32 count. I don't remember the names of the fabrics. I know it's Picture This Plus. I will put it down below. And This was definitely a February of 2020, no, March of 2020 stitch, also in lockdown. And I had to stitch it as quick as possible because I had to stitch it before the pandemic ended. Yeah, because it was gonna end very soon at that point in time. My father has claimed this one. Also, there is something to note. So the designer of this pattern, and if I get this history wrong, I apologize, but I believe that this Plague Doctor, the original pattern was like with color, like, well, not color, but it was a full coverage. I believe McKenna from Stitching and Sequins years ago did it like this. And then the designer of this pattern released a black only one, but it doesn't look like this. It looks a little bit different. So, and I believe that the designer also made a female version and named it after McKenna. So this is all of the stuff that I'm getting from here. I had seen this on Instagram in a hashtag. It may have been McKenna. And I just, you know, was a newbie, had no idea who anybody was or, you know, anything about the cross stitch community at that time. And I purchased this pattern. And when I purchased the pattern, it only had the full coverage. So I just stitched the black from the full coverage. Like I said, now the designer has the black only version, but it doesn't come out looking like this. So there's missing stitches. For example, see in the shoulder, you'll see like 2, 3, and then some gaps over here. That's because this full coverage doesn't, like, they used a dark gray or something else. In the new pattern, there are no disconnects. Everything is connected and refined, so it doesn't give this pixely kind of eerie look. It's more refined. I am probably a little congested right now, and I'm gonna have to pause and blow my nose. Very attractive, I know. So I'm back in Texas, and Texas has cedar pollen, and I think that me being away for so long and then coming back, I'm more affected by it. I already did a COVID test despite being vaccinated, fully vaccinated, like way past the 14 days after the second dose and everything. And one morning, so I think it was Tuesday morning, I woke up at like 5 a.m. It was like, oh my God, I can't smell anything. And so I started sniffing soaps and perfumes and like freaking out. My husband was like, what the heck are you doing? And then later was like, you know, that was like a nice what is it like to be married to Rocío? Oh, she wakes up at 5 in the morning sniffing things. And so anyway, from that day, I was like, I have COVID. I could still smell, but I was just, you know, congested. And if you all have been following me, my husband was congested and had tested positive in January, so I'm a little traumatized. Anyway, I got the results back and I'm negative, so it's just allergies, and I'm taking my anti-allergy medication, but stuffy. Okay, we're back. Originally, I purchased this frame on eBay. It's made of, I believe, resin. And my idea was this. The problem is you're not going to be able to tell. Oh, maybe if I do this. He doesn't fit. So the brim of his hat, and I know that this isn't perfectly placed on, but the brim of his hat is cut off, and it needs to be a bigger frame. So I've been on the hunt for now a year-ish for a frame very similar to this style in a bigger size, and I have found nothing. So I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do is change my idea, which I really don't want to do, or just keep waiting. My husband. My dad is super, super impatient, and he wants this frame so he can have it up in his house. but I just don't want to stick it in a whatever frame and not be fully happy with it. The other thing that I was thinking is to use it kind of as an opportunity to go frame hunting and see if maybe some of the vintage shops around here, or I guess like Goodwill or things like that, have something similar to this that I can make work. But yeah, I need a very large one. And this is the largest that the eBay seller makes. And then this is my last old finish. So this is Miss New Year Fairy by Nora Corbett. It is a kit. And Miss New Year Fairy is what set off 2020. I don't know if you can see all of the detail there. So Miss New Year Fairy was started end of December 2019, January 2020. I thought she was awesome for like a roaring 20s feel, I don't know, 2020s. Great. And I finished her fairly quickly. She is actually, so most Mirabilias and most Nora Corbett's are done with DMC and possibly some silks. Her kit, or at least this one, it's the only one that I've done, was done in over-dyed cotton floss. So these were Crescent Colorworks, which is now Classic Colorworks. And she has some Krynic in her wings, and she has some Mill Hill beads throughout. So there's some Krynic, Mill Hill beads, and that's kind of what she looks like. I also switched out, so the fabric in the kit comes with just a raw 32 count linen. And what I did, and I don't know if you're getting what it's supposed to look like, but I switched it out for raw silver. So you get some sparkles behind the sparkling, subtle sparkles. They're not very overpowering sparkles. So subtle sparklies in the fairy. But I blame 2020 on her because she was my first finish in 2020. She was the Miss New Year Fairy, and she set off 2020. And no, she's not deserving of a fully finished object quite yet. I think that once the pandemic is pretty much over and under control, which may be who knows when, then she may get a fully finished. But until then, no. And you know what just came into my brain, because this is how my brain works, is maybe if I fully finish her, the pandemic will be over. Let me know. Fully finish her so the pandemic will end, or don't finish her until the pandemic ends. So now we'll get into what have I finished since the last time we talked. I have finished the Homely Houseplants by Stitchonomy, and this was last year's stitch along. I think I mentioned in my last video the reason I did this was because of Shiloh. I believe Shiloh had started it. She may not have, but I think she started it. Shiloh, did you start it? And so I thought it was super cute. I've seen several finishes on it, and I did it in the MCG 28 count even weave. I talked about it last time. It's one of my favorite even weaves. It's what I learned on for how to stitch not on Ada. And I had a lovely, lovely, lovely godsend of a viewer send me a package of this linen. Yes, because that is how the cross stitch community works. She was not going to use it, and she sent it to me. So this even weave is not 100% done with me yet. And now I'm like, oh, maybe I should just start stashing it wherever I can find it. But it'll only be saved for very, very special projects. So let's see, what was I going to say on this? Oh, There's like 2-3 colorways. Mine is the mid-century modern colorway. I am missing a little tassel here that I need to make, but I want to make it after I iron it. I haven't even ironed it, but see, this fabric is so thick that it doesn't even really show hoop marks. And then I did one thing, and this is due to Jordan Tattooed Stitcher. She was stitching this too, and she's doing like a mix of the mid-century modern and the other one, which was like a natural boho style, if that makes sense. It was like browns and natural colors. And in that one, they do a specialty stitch, and it's the basket weave stitch. So if you look real closely, and I hope you can see all that, this is a basket weave. It's not perfect. It's my first one ever. It does give it kind of a cool, like natural looking basket weave effect. Definitely you can see that the fabric is bunching. So when I frame this, I need to kind of fiddle with it because it's definitely bunching in the back. I must have miscounted or pulled too tight, and that's what made the fabric do this effect. But I'm very happy with it. I'm glad I pushed myself and tried something new. I'm glad I did it on this project. I'm very happy with it. And I have a natural wood frame stashed away. I'll show it when I put it together, that I bought off of Amazon. Everyone is raving about Elizabeth Can Stitch. Elizabeth Ann. She has like a framing tutorial and how to make it look like you took it to the framer. So definitely we'll be watching those and seeing what I can do because I don't have a framer. I mean, I have a framer around the corner that I could go check out, but I don't know if they deal with linen and, you know, embroidery needle arts, if they have experience in that. So we'll see. Then my last finish, but I just noticed I'm missing something, so it's really not a finish, but it's a finish, is Dreaming Girl by Barbara Anna. So she is stitched on 32 count Monster Mash linen by Color and Cotton. It was their September fabric of the month. And when I say I haven't finished this, it's because I noticed after I posted my picture on Instagram and started looking at others, I forgot the back stitching. So there's some back stitching on the key and the acorns and the leaves that make it look like it's hanging in her hair. So that'll take me a couple seconds. I should have done it before filming, but I forgot. And if I were to do it now, it would push back filming and then you wouldn't get a Flosstube, so choices. This one needs a couple more sessions of pressing. You can still see some of the hoop marks. Yes, I know that I can stitch in a Q-snap to not get hoop marks, but I don't, and I will never. I am a hoop stitcher. And I have no earthly idea what I'm gonna do with her. I thought she was gonna be much bigger. I'm still not very good at math. I never have been, and I still am not. So I still have quite a bit of fabric, as you can see, that I can do something else with the other part. But even at that, like, I could have really moved this down quite a bit and even saved more fabric. This fabric is really cool because it's kind of like a color changing. It does this like blue purple that maybe you're picking up or maybe not. And I thought she was gonna be much bigger, like I said, but she's not. She's actually pretty small. I should have done some calculations and seen how big she was going to be finished, but I didn't. And I don't know, framing, like I don't know if I'll be able to find a frame this big. Still have to figure it out. And this is another one that my father wants to take from me because he says it's one of his favorites. Basically, my father's house is like a gallery of my work. Oh my gosh. You can hear it. I know you can. I'm not going to move the camera because we're on a stand. Sweet sounds of bulldogs. Yep, okay. We're putting him to sleep. So despite what it actually looks like, I really haven't stitched that much. I took about an 11-day hiatus from stitching with my friends. My allergy medication is definitely not kicking in. I think I may have to move from Texas. I have lived in Poland my entire life, but you take 2 years away from Texas and you come back and you're like, oh my gosh, spring in Texas is awful. Anyway, despite what it looks like, I haven't stitched very much. I had 2 main goals when I got back to stitching. Goal number 1 was to finish Dreaming Girl because I want to get it off of my list. And I want to work on my things. I want to work, so I know, I could start all the things. No one's telling me I can't not start the things, but I have to finish the things so I can feel accomplished and check things off my list. That's just the type of person I am, even in my hobby and my craft. So goal number 1 was to finish Dreaming Girl. Well, pre that goal was to finish Homely Houseplants, then Dreaming Girl. But Homely Houseplants was finished before my friends came. And then I was 2 clues behind on the Christmas wreath stitch along by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So I am almost finished with 2 clues ago. I guess 2 clues ago is like what, February's clue, which is over here. So I did this big ornament, this peppermint, these 2 lights, the green fill-in. Santa goes here. And I have some plans with Santa. Here, let me show you what I've done. This is stitched on 28 count even weave Joanne brand that I do not recommend because it's squished. What I mean by squished is that it's not perfect squares, they're rectangular, so my crosses are actually not like squares, they're rectangles, so everything is kind of squashed. And I dyed this myself using the liquid Rit dye in the color Wine, so I have tenderly named this Why Not. So for the Santa, I love this. The pumpkins, what they did was they offered several skin tones to be able to change Santa's skin. They also mention in their group, I don't know if it's in their Facebook group, I don't know if it's the Frosted Pumpkin Facebook group or if it's a Wreath Stitch Along Facebook group, that I'm not sure. That, because someone said, oh, I don't believe in Santa, or oh, I don't like Santa, or I don't know, they must have gotten a lot of coal in their life. The pumpkin said, oh, well, I would hate for you to change out or convert Santa because later Mrs. Claus is coming. With the skin tones, I have decided to match my husband's skin tone for Mr. Claus and match my skin tone for Mrs. Claus. I hope I said that correct. My husband is much darker than I am. He's not black, but he's much darker than I am. So I thought that it would be really cool to show representation of what real life couples can look like. It will be probably the first piece that I do this on. And it's just, you know, it's a really cool, it's just a cool thing because I remember back when I was like looking at wedding gifts and things and like wedding, you know, whatever. They always have, you know, the 2 white people or 2 black people, or you don't see much. I don't want to call it interracial because he's not black. He's just very dark brown. But you don't see colors in, like, you know, you see the bride and the groom or cake toppers or whatever. You don't see it. So it's like 2 white people and I'm like, well, that doesn't work. My husband's not white. Or 2 brown people and it's like, wait a second, I'm not brown. So I thought it would be really cool to make this fun pillow representative of our household, where I have a brown man and a white girl. haul. So we'll see. It's gonna be fun. I haven't told my husband about it. I don't know how he's gonna feel about it either. He's probably gonna look at me and be like, you're just so weird. Representation matters. So we also know how much I talk, and we also know how much I buy. And what I have done for you all is I have put all of my purchases or my Stitchy acquisition in bins and not put it away. The majority I haven't put away. Some of it I have on accident. So that I could slowly show you all my acquisitions, things that I'm excited about as I go through my floss tubes. So my spending has decreased, well, my spending in cross stitch has decreased by a lot. House spending has increased. But what I'm thinking of doing is, one, go through as much of the Stitchy kindness and haul or acquisitions that I've received recently as possible. And, you know, once I'm pretty much done or tired or I see that this is getting too long, I'll stop and then I'll show some more on the next floss tube. So I think that that's gonna work out because there's always gonna be some haul now in my videos until it just kind of runs out. And it also makes me feel better because I'm not showing everyone all at once all of the haul. Because that's embarrassing, right? I mean, it is a lot of haul. It's almost 6 months worth of haul. It's a lot of haul. And so I want to start out with, I do get random messages from people who say they want to send me something, Stitchy kindness, and they do. Like the even weave for MCG Textiles, that was such a sweet gesture. It really meant a lot. And when I get mail and I open it, it really makes me happy. What I fail to do sometimes, and it's one because I haven't been filming on a consistent schedule, is sometimes I won't show it in my floss tube because it gets put away, or, you know, it disappears. So it's not publicly announced or shared. However, because it's not publicly shared on Flosstube does not mean I am not appreciative. In fact, my genuine response and reaction is when I first get it and when I immediately thank that person. That is the most genuine. So if you do not see your Stitchy kindness that you sent me here, it's not because it's, you know, not worthy of being shown on my floss tube. It's either too special to me, or I've already used it, or it's already placed in its perfect little new home. So I am starting off that, but I did make it a point to do this one first because this is kind of a fun story. So Dawn Marie, I believe it's DM Crafty Vortex. I may be wrong, but Dawn Marie, she has her own floss tube. She's great. She's super sweet. She sent me the most random Instagram message and was like, I'm bored. I think it was, I'm bored. Tell me what your favorite colors are, or like themes of fabric or something like that. So I went along with it, and then she sent me back some fabrics and she's like, do you like any of these? And I was like, yeah, I love a lot of them. And then she's like, okay, cool, bye. Okay, bye. And so not even, you know, a couple days later, a week later, she says, it's sent, it's on its way. And I'm like, I have no earthly idea what is being sent to me. I'm assuming it has something to do with fabric, so we'll see. Oh, and she was trying something new. So I was like the guinea pig of it. So this is, I don't even know if she has a name for it. It's a project bag, but it's like a project portfolio is what I kind of want to say it is. It is beautifully constructed. It has a zipper pocket here with the vinyl so that you can place your project and you can see what's going on. Behind here you have a humongous space to just stick papers and crap in. On this side, again, you have more to just put, who knows, your tablet, whatever, your hoops, snap frame, I don't know, whatever your heart desires. And then she made individual pockets. So I am a bobbinator. I think I've mentioned that before. I put all of my floss on bobbins. And so you can put them each on in a thing. I don't know if she's selling them. I told her she needs to, because for the large project people, Heaven and Earth Design, Fanatics, Darcy Cameron, I think that this would be a really cool thing. You put it back together, you snap a button, and voila, your project is put away. So I don't know. Send her a message. I'm putting her Instagram down here if you're interested. I don't think it hurts to ask. I think it's lovely. And I love, so this gives me Park Hopper Bart vibes. It's all music. But it's just, it's so cool. I love this little invention. Like I said, I don't think it has a name. I don't think she's selling it at this given time. I am behind on Flosstube, so I'm not sure if she's mentioned it on her Flosstube. But like I said, worth a direct message for sure. And she also included this project bag, which was super sweet too. So it's a vinyl front, has a handle, and you just stick all your stuff in there. And oh, look, I'm just now seeing this. So she has divisions. So the back divider, then you have a fabric divider in the middle, and then the vinyl front to put your project and stuff. It's just, it's very smart. Very, very smart. Again, I have no earthly idea if she's selling them. I believe she gives them away from time to time on her channel. Worth a follow, worth a subscribe, worth a check her out, because that was super sweet. Thank you very much again, Dawn Marie. If you have any other experiments in the future and you feel bored, send me a message, because I will very likely play along again. Okay, so let's get to things that I'm very excited about. So I'm very excited about this. This is the Frogworks Year 1 from the Black Needle Society. I am a VIP of them. I got my first box, the on-the-go stitching box. However, the box was sent to my parents' house, and it took a week detour. Then when I unboxed it, I filmed, and then I didn't have enough time to edit and publish before my friends arrived. So I have not yet uploaded the unboxing. I feel it's a little late now because everyone's kind of done all the unboxings. I'm still trying to figure out if I will be uploading that one since it's so late, or if I will start with my first special edition box, which is the Up All Night Stitching box, and that one should be shipping out fairly shortly. And we've fixed all of the address situations, so it'll come directly here, and I'm very excited about that. But anyway, so I also am the one who will be representing the Frogworks Retreat in a Box. I didn't do it last year. I was in the Bahamas, I think I mentioned it, and I fell in love with the pattern. So I went ahead and kitted it all up with all of the over-dyed. They sent this super cute little chocolate frog needle minder. And I just need to figure out if I'm going to stitch this all in one gigantic piece of fabric, which is what I'm leaning towards, or individual ones, because then year 2 will come out, year 3, so on and so forth, hopefully. But I haven't started it yet. I was hoping to start and finish it before the new retreat this year, but I think what I'm going to do is actually wait and see the band sample for year 2, so that way I can have 2 that I can figure out the placement on, and then it'll be, I think, a little easier to just keep adding the separate, or the future years once year 1 is done, or year 1 and 2. Like, I'll figure out the spacing better. But yeah, so that's kitted and ready to go. Very exciting. Then I did a thing. I started watching, no, I did this thing a while back ago. I started watching very old videos on very large floss tubers. Pam and Steph, Michelle Bendy, Julie, Kansas City Girl in the Colorado World. I went to their old stuff. So where I say like, oh my God, please don't watch my old stuff. Oh, how embarrassing, but it's up there. I went to go and see the beginnings of the big Flosstubers. In one of those old videos, I can't even remember which one, Michelle Bendy showed this, and I died. I don't know if she started it. I don't think she's finished it. Maybe she's abandoned it. I don't know. Michelle can probably, she typically watches, so you can let me know below. But yeah, your past self influenced my present self to purchase this. So this is Natural Beauty 3 by, I'm gonna say it in English, Philanthropy, but it's in French. They have a website, and this is my favorite of their designs, and they have the kit. So they also sell it in just the pattern form, and you can kit it up yourself, but they use different floss. It's not DMC. Let me open it. What floss is this? It says Allegro. So they put each one on floss drops, but it looks like what they did was put exactly how much you need, because the skeins vary in size. I don't think it's silk. It doesn't feel like silk. It looks like, it gives me sulky vibes. It's thicker than like a DMC, but we'll see. And then they also sent a printed fabric. So the printed fabric, I guess, gives the final effect, right, of the final product, which if I can get my life together, that's not the full one. Let me see if I can get this one. Which looks like that. Are you in frame? But if you look close up on the front picture, it's cross stitch, it's not embroidery. It's cross stitch, just on a printed fabric to give that final effect. I think she's beautiful. I don't have any plans of starting her right now, but I needed to get it in my stash because what if it goes out of print? My husband's favorite thing to hear is out of print. Because he says everything that I buy or everything that I consider buying is because out of print. And it's the excuse to life, you know? In the cross-stitch world, everything goes out of print. And once it goes out of print, then you're paying like a buttload. So I tell him, I'm saving you money for the future. You know, if I buy it because there's a chance it could go out of print, it's because I know that I'm going to be stitching it in my 300-year lifetime, and I'm saving you money because in 200 years, this could be 20 times more expensive. The logic is there. And then when I buy an out of print, I tell them it's an investment. Because if I purchase an out of print, and if at any point in time I decide I don't want to stitch the out of print, I could possibly make money off of it. Logic. It's there. But death before de-stash in most things. So let's do the out of print journey. Amazon sells dimensions. Not all of them, but some of them. And I have had this on my 2x later for a million years, and I never pull the trigger. So I finally did. This one is called Ballerina Dreams, and they're the two little girls. They're so cute, and they're in their little ballerina outfits, and I like the colors. So those soft pinks and blues, and just, I really, really like this piece. And it's not out of print, but there's a chance because dimensions go out of print. So naturally, I have to buy it before it goes out of print. Logic. So this one is now added to my dimensions stash. My dimensions collection is slightly out of control. Slightly. I blame the majority of that on the pandemic. But yeah. And Needlework Expo. So last year during market, last year I bought everything that crossed my mind. Like, and again, pandemic? No, this was pre-pandemic. You know what it was? It was like the high of being on Flosstube and in the cross stitch community, and just the high. I don't know, I'm speaking for myself, but when you start floss tubing and you start like gaining your rhythm and kind of figuring out what your channel is like and figuring out how you want to be portrayed or what things you want to show, you know, you get a high. You get like this, like, yes, this is so much fun, I love this. And Nashville last year was 2 months after I had started my first floss tube, and anything that like passed by or was posted on Instagram was like buy. Of the things that I purchased last year, which are all amazing things, I'm not saying that they're not, I have started zero. Zero from the very many things I purchased last year at Nashville. So I do have some logic in this brain, and I said, I am not doing that with Expo. I am going to save, heart, like, do all of the things, share everything that I really like. I will only purchase things if they are limited edition to the Expo, because guess what? They go out of print. So I saw this in Abby, Top Knot Stitcher, she's amazing. In one of her Expo Live videos where she was like showing the things that she had got from Expo for her shop, she showed this Let Us Rejoice and Eat Cake kit. So limited quantities of kits. They come with these cute little birthday candles, and guess what? This is my golden birthday. I will be 29 on the 29th of this month. That only happens once in a lifetime. So it is my golden birthday, and I am taking my golden birthday to heart. I'm doing the things that make me happy, and I'm doing the things that are within my control to make this the best year ever. And so, how fitting. So this is going to be a start very soon, and I'm going to finish it because it's not very much stitching. I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to eat cake. And I love Stephanie, I love her style, and you know, I bought a lot of her charts last year at Nashville that I haven't started. So this will be, I'm actually, look, see, I'm moving it to the, put it in my grab it for the next new start pile. So what I'll do sometimes is if I notice that my cart is kind of empty, or you know, I want to spend more money, I go to the sales and I try to go to the kits sales section of 123 Stitch and pick things that are, you know, severely discounted to just add to the stash. So I found this one, which is super cute. It's called Girl and Dough. Very sweet, by RTO. Just, you know, little girl with a dough, and I love the flowers, and it's just very whimsical and pretty. So that's something that I would love to one day stitch. And this one looked a little bit better in the picture than when I look at it in person, but that doesn't mean that I won't do it. Just, I don't know. It also was a Christmassy cutesy pattern by RTO, or not pattern, kit. See, and it, again, I'm looking at it in the viewfinder, it looks better from far away or from in a picture than when you look at it up close. And this one is called Winter Fairy Tale, again by RTO. I doubt that these are still super on sale on 123 Stitch. They kind of rotate the kits around. That's kind of something that I do. See, look, I have it in my things to talk about. Let's talk about it again. Someone sent me this. So the 28 even weave antique white MCG textiles. Look, with even a little remnant of it. I'm telling you, it was very sweet. I'm accepting and will love and house all MCG textile even weave in antique white specifically. Okay, let's see. I have a little bit of battery and I'm hoping that I can get all of this before my battery has to be changed. So, XStitchMD has this hanging on her wall. People ask her about it all the time. It is Bright Needle Dollhouse. Yep, I have it. This is severely out of print. I have been looking for this for a very, very, very long time. I have a Bright Needle needlework shop that I purchased and have in my stash somewhere. And Michelle Bendy was doing a live de-stash sale back in February. And I went every Sunday to go and see what was there. So what she's doing right now is that she'll do a random comment picker basically on her live sale. So it's not anymore like you type in the keyword and whoever the first person is to type the keyword gets it sold. Now it's a little more fair. Where I'm a fast typer, I don't like it because I typically can snag things quickly, but it is much more fair. And it's much more rewarding when you win something like this. So Michelle put this up and I was like, oh my God, and she sold it for pennies. I mean, pennies on the dollar, pennies. And I'm like, oh, I've been looking for that for so long. Oh, I've been looking for it so long. So what I did was, what is his name? Nightbot. Nightbot is the one who chooses the random comment picker. So I decided to put the keyword and then type in a little message saying, Nightbot, you know, like you're like my favorite person in the whole wide world. Please, Nightbot gods, be on my side, or something like that. Like I posted it in the chat. The Nightbot picked me. So this is completely kitted and red. I mean, like, look, it's all in anchor floss. So the anchor floss is in the bag and it is ready to go. So one bin is down and I'm gonna do just this one last bin and then save the rest for next time. So Michelle Bendy, Michelle flashed this like in that live sale. And I think the live sale ended up ending. And so I messaged her and was like, hey Michelle, what was that? It caught my eye. So this is Bothy Threads Adrift. It is a kit, also out of print. And they are the Santoro brand. So I know that they have fabric and very kind of whimsical designs. She called to me and I can't wait to start her. There is a series, I think of 4 kits of these girls. I haven't been able to find any of the other 3. If you come across them and you see them, send them my way. I would love to collect them. I don't think that they even, no, I don't see them here. There's different ones. This one's Adrift. I'm not even gonna pretend like I remember the other ones because I don't. And it came with, so it's a kit that comes with the chart, paper chart, and the floss, and this was a previously started kit. So whoever started it, it's on Ada, and they started it there, see? So I don't have anything against Ada, but I did want this project. It shows a lot of the fabric. The stitching is the girl and like these overlay back stitchings and just like little motifs. So I wanted something over dyed. This is just a solid color. It's a very, 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 very soft, subtle blue. And I went into my stash and I found this. It doesn't show as well on the camera, but it's a very light color changing. I like these color changing fabrics right now. By Picture This Plus, Demoiselle, 32 count Lugana. So I think that I'm actually going to start her on this. Like I said, on the camera, it doesn't look as good as what it does in person. It washes out those like undertones. There's like some yellow and that blue and some purples, but on the camera, it really is just kind of showing gray splotches, but it doesn't look like that. Like I said, I have nothing against Ada, but if a design shows a bunch of fabric, I like to play with the fabric and make the fabric kind of tie the whole project together. And I think that that is like the perfect fabric for this project. So I'm super excited to start this one very soon. It's in my like to be started pile. And like I said, I'm on the hunt for the other kits. I haven't seen a single one, and I've been hunting since February. We'll see. We'll see if we find any of the others. I have my alert set on eBay, and I randomly will check like little shops and stuff. So I guess I have a unicorn kit right now, or kits, unicorn series. We'll see. Okay, I'm coming up on the last few things. The dimensions. I had heard that this was getting difficult to find. This was Charming Waterway, and I've seen it stitched a million times. It's beautiful, but I don't think that this is out of print. I had heard it was very difficult to find, I think on a Flosstube or something, or maybe in an Instagram post, and when I went to find it, I found it pretty quickly. I found it on eBay, not on Amazon, but I found it for regular price. It wasn't ridiculously over. So what did I do? I purchased it in case that it goes out of production, because I do want to stitch it in my 300-year life. There are some really cool details. Like if you look, there's a painting inside the restaurant. That is so, and like the little candles and the little tiny cups and stuff. Some of these dimensions are just like, what? Amazing. I think I saw this on Luda's channel during her like, let me show you all my dimensions kits. And I died. And then after dying, this was several months ago. After dying, I couldn't find it. And then when random 2 a.m. shopping recently, this is like a purchase within the 2 weeks, I found it. And it was a bid, it wasn't a buy it now. And nobody was bidding on it, so I waited and set an alarm and did the last minute eBay bid. Ugly duckling. Look at those ducks and how they're judging the frog. The little frog looks like gazpacho. He's just sitting there, he wants to be a duck. But the ducks don't want him to be a duck. My heart, like it melts. So, whew, what a stressful bid. Stressful bid. I think it was stupid. It was like $5 and nobody was watching it. So fun fact, pro tip on eBay. Do not place a bid because you're driving the price up. Heart it, watch it. Set an alarm for when the bidding is about to end. And think for that entire time, how much are you willing to pay for it? What is your max number? So your max number you have in your head, you don't say it out loud, you just wait. A lot of people do this. The bidding is going to end and you have maybe 30 seconds. I like to do it between 15 and 30 seconds. 30 is sometimes too much. 15 seconds before the bidding end is like the perfect sweet spot. You insert, when you go to bid, insert your max bid in your brain. What is your max? You are not going to pay your max unless it gets to that max. So let me give you a real life example. This was $5. And it was like, that's strange that this is $5. There's gonna be people like me who are scoping this out and are waiting till the last minute. So when I got to the eBay listing right towards the end, the price is going up, you know, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My max willing to pay for this was $35. Yes, judge me all you want. I know it's a petite, I get it, but dude, look at the frog. And I know how difficult it was to find it, so 35, that was my max. I probably would have gone higher, but I didn't. This also forces you to not go higher. So you wait the last 15 seconds or last 30 seconds and you place your max bid. So I put my max bid at 35, okay? And then you pray. You pray, you chant, you cross your fingers, you do all the things. So that way you win. So the countdown goes and you see the price go up and you're still the highest bidder because your max bid was 35. So it was getting close, and you're like waiting for the countdown to go away because you don't want the bid to keep going up. Now, if someone places a max bid above your max bid, they're gonna win it. So it goes away really quick. But nobody was doing that. Everyone was like kind of trying to see how much you could go before going over. So the bidding ended at 29. I was sweating, but it's in my possession. He is gonna get started extremely soon because I need to have him. Look at the frog. And the judging, the ducks, they're like, no, you're not a duck. And the frog is like, I'm a duck. Little things make me very happy. I will be doing this in a future video. It's going to be a Flosstube extra. Mybobbin.com reached out to me on Instagram and wanted to see if I wanted to collaborate and test their website and their products. So this is going to be a separate video that I will be putting out here very soon and filming. I will do an unwrapping and talk about my experience with mybobbin.com. Overview, it's a go. I love it. I'm very happy with it. But I'm going to give them their own little video. And this, it's kind of cool. So I've been having more companies reach out to me. It's a new thing for me. I'm fairly new and it is exciting. And so I will say yes, you know, to the majority of them. What I have chosen to do is if I want to, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't want to promote things that I do not find either align with me or I find not okay, and I'm finding my groove. But as you may have seen, I have gone over 3,000 subscribers. And I read it at night. I was reading this and it's very interesting. We all kind of not obsessed, but we all watch our subscriber counts and we watch how many people are viewing, and someone put there, and it's very true, Twitch, which is a live stream, right, for gamers. Someone said, if you're in a living room and you have 11 people watching you play a video game, that's a lot of people in your living room. That's a lot of bodies watching you. But when you're on a live stream, or in this case, on YouTube, 11 views or 11 people doesn't feel like much because you don't see those people. So let's scale that. 100 people. So you're talking to, or you're in front of 100 people. 100 people probably won't fit in your living room. Okay, let's scale it up again. 1,000. 1,000 people have viewed you. You are talking to 1,000 people. Let's scale it up again. So it really, to say that 3,000 users have subscribed to my channel, for big people who have tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions, and that is their full-time job, my 3,000 is nothing. When I think about it, that 3,000 people choose to follow me, thank you is not enough. I never got into this for the numbers. I just thank you. So your likes, your subscribes, they are very appreciated here. And I love this community, and I hope that I give you something to, I don't know, fangirl about, or to buy, or to just get excited about. That being said, I had another company that is not cross-stitch related reach out to me. And hold. These are embroidery kits, completely kitted. So I chose this flower one to test out. I have done very minimal embroidery in my life, but a needle and floss, you know, I can consider myself semi-pro. A little bit. I mean, I'll never be a pro, but so what I did was I tested out the product. So this is another work in progress that I'm working on. So you see some French knots, some back stitching, some satin stitching, some leaf stitching. It's a printed canvas. The canvas is great, great quality. The hoop that they send is a non-slip hoop, and it's drum tight, and I have left it on there and it has not loosened at all. I think that this is CXC floss. It does not say. It's definitely not DMC. I have mentioned before, CXC floss feels like silk. This is definitely not silk because of the price point, but I think it's CXC floss. So they come in the kit, they have numbers, and then you have your instructions here. In the picture, it tells you exactly what type of stitch, how many strands, and which color from the number you pick. And on the other side, it has the pictures of how to do the stitches that are called for. And I believe that they even have, yes, so if the instructions or like the paper instructions don't work for you, they also have, or recommend, go to YouTube and watch related tutorial video by searching embroidery kit /stitches. I haven't checked it out, but I'm assuming it's their embroidery stitches YouTube channel. They asked me, 1, to test the product, 2, to review it. So here I am reviewing it. And they said, I want to give you some for your subscribers as a giveaway. And I said, absolutely. What perfect timing. I just passed 3,000 subscribers. How do you feel about 3 products to try? You can find these on Amazon. They're fairly inexpensive. I believe they're less than $10. I think they're $8 a piece, and they are Amazon Prime. But you have a chance to win it today. And if you've made it this long, you're very deserving of winning this today. So just type in the comments keyword flower, and I will search for the keyword flower in 2 weeks, and you will be one of 3 winners. I have 2 of the coral style, which is the one that I'm stitching right now, and 1 blue. I think what I'll do is that the first winner, so when I do the YouTube comment picker, the first flower winner, I will give them a choice. The second flower winner, I'll give them a choice. And the third will be the one that's left over. Don't be intimidated by embroidery. The embroidery community is intimidating, but we know how to work a needle, we know how to work floss. And you can do anything that you set your mind to. So, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, do all the things that the YouTubers tell you to do. And I will see you all again in 2 weeks. Probably before then if you want some extra videos. So some extra videos may be popping in next week. But for my Flosstube, definitely in 2 weeks. I do have some plans. The same plan I've been talking about for like over a year. My birthday's coming up, like I said, it's my golden year. I'll talk about my birthday plans in the next video because that's on the 22nd, 23rd, and like I said, I'll be turning 29 on the 29th. So you'll know my birthday plans before my birthday. And I hope you are all having a great day full of joy and positivity, and I will see you all in 2 weeks. Bye!